Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Minnoxide Podcast. Today we are back. We're going to talk about a lot of things today. This is going to be our second attempt at video. If you're seeing this, you're part of history. Sean, my usual co-host, is here.
Yeah, I'm here.
That's the longest time he's spoken. So usually he's like, "Hi,
no,
guys."
No. Last week I had a whole introduction where I said, if you don't know me, I'm the guy with the 1M.
And the blue Durango at Cub Foods, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, today our guest, Piero. Okay, I've always wondered how do you say your last name? Is it Pucci?
Pucci, yep.
Pucci, all right.
Pucci, just with a P. That's simple as that.
I like it. Well, Piero, I've kind of known you almost 5 years now. It's coming up. Time flies, dude. So I've kind of always known Piero through autocross. I think I remember the first time I saw you was actually at like a winter autocross event at the DCTC.
Yep.
And I remember seeing your car and a yellow S2K there. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember.
Andy.
Yeah, so that was kind of when I started getting into photography. I was like, I'm going to go to these track events. I just learned how to use this fucking camera, and I figured things out. And I think you and I started chatting. I can't remember what it was about. I think I maybe sent you photos from the event or something.
I remember you posted my car, and I was like, I want to know who this guy is. It's a really good picture. I want to know who he is.
It's kind of wild, like, looking back at it now. It's like, I think some of my older shit's better than my new shit every once in a while. And especially, like, the track stuff, because I just don't do much of it. But that's kind of why I want to go to Texas now, is to get a lot of photos.
I kept trying to take you to different grill events, and you kept ditching on me.
I know. Yeah, what was the one you tried to get me to go on last year?
NCM down in Kentucky. Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Yeah, which track was that again?
National Corvette Museum.
That's right. Yeah. That's an expensive track.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I tried to rent that for Whiplash Rally when I was trying to plan for 2023. Rest in peace. And it was just no shot. I think it was like 32 G's for like 2 days or something.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's like in 2 days, you could not do it one day. The only thing you could possibly do is like find a group and split it with them, but that was pretty much it.
Yep. That track where they test all the new Corvettes and stuff, it's probably my favorite track I ever been to be honest.
Yeah, so let's get into kind of what you do, I guess. So you own a shop with your dad, I believe, right?
Yep.
Out here in Burnsville?
Yep. Pucci's Garage in Burnsville. Yep.
So what do you because I know you guys did Eric Swing on the McLaren or whatever, but you guys kind of do a little bit of everything. So I guess let's start there. Take me through everything you do. What's your day job, I guess, with this?
Well, my day job is mostly like auto body and mechanical work. So I do everything from small dents, from insurance work to I need a clutch done or swap something on my car.
Okay.
So I do that, and then we do restoration, and I try to do most stuff for my own track car, and then my dad's track car, and all my friends that race. So pretty much prep cars for a racetrack, pretty much.
Okay, I should probably send my brother to your shop because, dude, he got dinged up. So he hit something like a big, like maybe like a foot big, like ice block or whatever over here on the road. Destroyed his front bumper. Like the other day he hit a pothole and then his bumper came back off or whatever. And then literally like a week later he got into an accident. Like somebody backed into him, and it's just everything from the fender to the front bumper is just beyond fucked. So we should see if there's any way to get insurance, send him your way.
We can totally work with him just so he doesn't pay anything.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there, because I think my pops has a little bit more of a say because he's younger. So, but no, that's hilarious. I completely forgot about that. So you're still working on Eric's Salady, not Salady, the Fair Lady, right?
Fair Lady, yep.
Yeah.
It's almost complete now. I heard him talk about it in the podcast last time that it was.
He wants to crush that thing.
Yeah, he was like, it's been 3 years. I was like, I only had it for 9 months.
No, but he's had such a bad experience, especially with the previous guy. Like,
I once he told me I want the car done, and it was like, it's just pretty much primer and paint. And when the car arrived, I told him, I was like, this is not prime and paint. Like, they just took the paint off and let it rust in there. So it was, the other shop really screwed him big time.
Dude, that's the amount of times, like, he's like, bro, we should just crush this thing and just, make some money off of TikTok off of it. Because it's just been such a heartbreaking thing for him. Because, like, especially when you work with bad shops like that, it's like, they tell you one thing, and then they ask for more money, and it's like, oh, well, we gotta extend the timeline. And then there's reasonable, as I'm sure you know, where it's like, yeah, obviously we have to extend it.
Yeah,
and then,
he's a good person to work with. He understands everything.
He's understanding. Well, he's a silent complainer too. He's dangerous sometimes too, like that. But no, I'm glad I sent him to you because you kind of guide him in a way. Like, you're pretty straightforward, and if it ends up taking more time, there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
So I guess why don't we start there? I guess customer expectations. Do you do a lot of custom projects like that?
We do, but probably Eric's is like the most extensive one we've done.
Okay.
So, yeah, that one took a long time.
Yeah. Are you guys where is it in the progress? I'm just curious.
Bodywork's completely done now.
Okay.
His fenders, doors, trunk, and hood are already primed, ready to paint. The engine bay has been painted already, black. Trunk lid has been painted. Interior has been painted.
Okay.
So it's just pretty much prime the outside, sand it down, reprime, sand it down again, and paint. So hopefully it's going to be done by this upcoming week.
Oh, wow.
So
that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, we've done, all the hard work is done.
The hard work's done.
So now it's just putting in the effort to get it done before he decides to crush
it. Yeah, no, that's the thing. The previous guy when it was going to be all said and done, the figure was not astronomical. Like, it's just, and when I sent him, like, because at the time, like, I didn't know a ton about your work, but I knew you were a good guy. So I hit you up and I was like, hey, you do this kind of work, right? You're like, fuck yeah, I do. And then, you kind of gave me like a rough price and estimate, again, based off of, oh, it just needs paint and body. Or and you're like, yeah, this is the figure. And then Eric was like, oh, what's, way different than what the other guy was trying to rip him off for. So I guess it kind of comes down to having good people in the community, so that helps too.
Yeah. What also had to be extended on the time frame is once I started painting the engine bay, I looked at his frame and I was like, this is bad. It's just completely destroyed. So we lifted the body off the frame, sandblasted the whole frame, and recoated it so it doesn't rust. So that took a long time too.
I think part of what your approach there, and this is just me guessing, is you kind of wanted to find all the problems up front so you could be as upfront with your customer as possible, whereas the other guy, I almost feel like, I will tell him about it later. We'll get deep into the project and we can bill him for it later or whatever, and again, that's just because I'm a paranoid person, but I like that you're able to, because like when I sent Eric to you and he's like, oh yeah, Piero just gave me this laundry list of shit he's got to do. I'm like, well, at least he's honest.
Well, that's also what happened. He said, no, just leave this part alone. We'll do it next time. I'm like, but the car's already here. Let's just get it done once.
Right.
And it looks pretty. You don't have to come back and everything. And he was like, you know what, let's do it. And so we fixed rust that he had on the rockers, and nobody else is ever going to see.
Right.
But we are. We know it's there. So we want to fix it right.
Yeah.
Once. So, yeah, it's taking a long time, but he's going to like it. Pretty sure he's going to like it. So.
Do you know what car we're talking about by chance?
Yeah, I've seen this.
Oh, yeah, you've seen it. Yeah, dude, the car is literally as big as this fucking table. Right?
Yeah, Eric's talked about it a whole lot. I mean...
in the chat.
He's been talking about it in the chat. He talks about it for a couple of years since I've known him. He's always had it, and it's always been a pain in his ass. And he's seen a fair lady before, and he's like, that's what I want mine to look like.
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys are at least communicating, and it seems like his optimism's going back up now that we're getting closer to it. So.
Yeah, I mean, he told us because we had it planned to be done in September for the mile show.
Right.
But with all the little stuff that we found, we kept pushing the timeline.
Discovery,
But now that we're really close, I talked to him and I was like, I painted your trunk interior and then I'm going to paint your interior today. And he was like, okay. He was like getting excited for the car to be done. I mean, understandable, but yeah. Well,
yeah, I think it's just that and communication's a big thing too. Like, did you see that what happened with T-Pain or whatever a few months ago?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he got screwed.
Yeah, when he got screwed, it's like...
His drift car build, that was...
Pickle Rick.
So right? Sad, yeah. And I watched that whole story, and it was so good. T-Pain's like a really good storyteller.
It was so good to watch.
Yeah.
He had me on the edge of my seat, but I was furious, though, because, like, That's the thing, is communication. You saw the communication from all those texts or whatever in that T-Pain story. So basically, guys, what happened here is he sent this, his Pickle Rick drift car or whatever to get finished up by the shop. They were really going the full 9 yards. And it was just one excuse after another. And the thing is he was fine with the timeline. He's just like, just let me know so I can, because he had sponsors and all this other stuff riding on it. So that's basically kind of gist of the story in 20 seconds or less. There's a lot more to it, but it's just the shop was just lying and just all that stuff. Don't play that with audio, by the way. Yeah, so we don't get kicked off. But I don't know if we're big enough to get kicked off or how sophisticated softwares are. But yeah, no, it's just a pain in the butt. So the communication. And then me and Eric are texting buddies. Like he'd be like, I like Piero, so it's like, that's a good sign.
That's good. Yeah. We've tried to take care of Eric, even with the McLaren when we had to do the custom brackets and everything. I called him. I made him come to the shop. I was like, where do you want your wing height? How do you want the wing to be? And he told me everything that he wanted, and we try to work with Eric as much as we could. So do a good job for him.
Yeah, and I think at least you're straightforward, like, all right, this is what's going to happen or whatever, so you try to prevent as much of that as possible. But yeah, we'll see what he does with the wing, because he has some ideas on that, like, because it's in the weird way of his like rear view mirror.
But that's every car that has a wing.
But he also wanted it to be below the roof line, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, you could probably just get a riser, get it to sit like an inch or two higher, because that's what a lot of people with the new Porsche
it's
GT4.
A thick wing though, because you saw it or whatever. It's like, it's pretty beefy. Like for whatever reason, it's like 2 inches thick or whatever, right?
Yeah, that's usually the APR wings come like that. My Evo has the same kind of like super thick part at the top, and then just becomes really thin at the end. I don't know, but yeah, it's a pretty big wing. It's the GT500 wing, so that's a big boy wing.
Yeah, we just watched the GT500 review or whatever last week by Doug DeMuro, just because that's kind of car, that's the dream car for me right now. Obtainable, I guess. Yeah. Just because everything you get performance-wise out of that thing is insane. But so I guess shop-wise, so you do a little bit. So you guys have your own paint booth then as well?
Yep.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, that was the other thing. He tried to take his Silvia before he got rid of it. He tried to take it to Mako, and they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, he told me that Mako was like, nope, I ain't touching this car.
Yeah, because it just had all the aftermarket fenders and all that. It was a shit box, but it was his shit box, and I liked it. It was my favorite car because it just sounded incredible, and I'm glad he's gonna put that motor to use. But enough about Eric. That was 10 minutes talking about his project, but that's the most relevant thing that I know coming out of your shop. What was that car you texted me a few weeks ago? Was it a BRZ? Or your shop drift car or whatever?
About...
Yeah, what is that black car?
Well, I have two black cars.
The one that you smacked into a wall or something.
Oh, my race car, my FRS.
Yeah, so get into that. So I guess, what is that car? So when did you get it, first of all?
Bought it in the middle of May.
Okay. Yeah, I think I remember that.
And that plan for that car is that it will be more like a practice car, because the Evo is really more like a two-lapper kind of car. It just gets hot, and I don't want to blow it up. It's expensive. Right. So got that car, and I don't know, I'm a competitive guy with all my friends. They're really good drivers.
Right.
Really good drivers. And I just hated to stay behind, and I ran out of talent, and it smacked into a wall in Harlan Motorsport Park, going 60 miles an hour backwards into a wall.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's insane. How does that feel?
For a moment, I was like, I'm going in the grass backwards, straight line. I'm not going to hit the wall. And then I was like, that wall was getting a little closer than I expected to. And then when it hit the wall, obviously the airbags and everything went off.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, yeah, this sucks. I think my weekend is done for. But once they got towed off, as soon as I grabbed my phone, because everybody was watching the live stream,
right?
My family was texting me and calling me. And whenever I finished talking to my fiance, I was like, yeah, I think I'm done for the weekend. I'm going to put it on a trailer. I turn around and my car's torn apart. My friends are putting my car back together so I can go back the next session. So within an hour and a half, had the car back together, aligned like this, and back on track an hour and a half later.
So you whacked the wall at 60 miles an hour, and it was back on track in an hour and a half.
Yeah, pretty much.
Are your friends in like a NASCAR crew? What the fuck?
I think we should be one.
That's crazy.
We've done engine replacements within an hour and a half on track in middle of Autobahn. It was Autobahn. My friend blew an engine and we put another one within like an hour and a half, and it won the next race. So.
Well, what engine?
K24.
K24.
S2000.
Okay, how did you guys source an engine that fast?
Okay, so I'm part of this great, amazing group called ASM, and it's Medgar Motors.
Yeah, yep.
Down in Wisconsin, and he never goes to a racetrack with being able to put a whole car back together.
Right, I know guys like that.
Transmissions, clutches. So he had a spare engine there. So we just swapped it. He tuned it, and then went back on track. So it's that group. That's why when I crashed, we borrowed a control arm from the guy that announces the races.
Right.
We borrowed a control arm from him and put it together. So it was a crazy weekend.
What kind of animals do you hang out with? That is awesome, dude. That is next level. Do you think are we able to pull up Instagram on here? Or do you think it probably wouldn't work?
No, I think we need a little bit more practice before we start pulling up that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say at some point we should throw up his car or whatever. Maybe I could do it in editing. Who knows? We'll see what happens. We'll see how much effort I want to put into editing.
Yeah, check it out. His car right here.
Yeah. That would be cool. I mean, we'll see what happens with this. But no, so let's see. That was an interesting story. So here's one that I always try to explain to people, but I'm not 100% sure how to explain it. Your Evo. It went from silver to yellow, but it wasn't just a paint job. Like, What was the story there?
So, I first bought this silver car from my dad's friend that he couldn't afford it anymore.
Okay.
And I decided to buy it off of him. I tracked it, took it to the rally at 500 horsepower. And Venom. Yep. When we went up Pikes Peak and my Evo didn't make it all the way to the top.
Yeah.
Yep. So that car was starting to rust out in the subframe, so it was pushing the frame up with it.
Oh, wow.
So it's a common issue with rusty Evos. So I decided I was looking for a set of wheels to store my car, like spare, like the little donut wheels. I texted my friend Ronnie from RS Motors, and he was like, it comes with a car. I have 4 wheels, but it comes with a car. And I was like, is the car rusty? He was like, no. I was like, okay. And then I went to look at it, and that's the story. I bought a yellow shell that I was looking only for the wheels and swapped everything to a non-rusty chassis, pretty much.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I got lucky for $800.
So it was just a shell? No motor, nothing in it?
No, nothing.
Gee. So what's that process look like from switching to shell? So, okay, what did you keep from the OG and what came from the new, I guess?
It had to be engine trans, TKs, rear diff, Brembos, axles, interior, pretty much. That's all I kept from the other one, then sold the rest.
I'm guessing it's not as easy as like a Jeep, which is like 6 bolts.
So it took about 500 man hours to get everything swapped off.
Wow.
I sandblasted the underneath of the car, so it doesn't have any rust. I didn't want to have any rust issues.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, but yeah, that's why I think I would die with this car. I would never sell it. Never.
I think, that's the car I kind of known you. Well, actually, no, I met you when you had the Subaru.
The Subaru. Yes.
Yeah, so you're not on the Subaru. So, yeah, okay, so you're the perfect person to talk to about this. Who wins, Subaru or Evo? Or do they both have their own respective platforms?
I think Subarus are really cool cars to get started on, but I blew the head gaskets on mine.
Yeah.
So I fall on that big group of people that blew a head gasket on a Subaru. So
yeah. So did you see the Donut Media? They built 2 Subarus
And went through 5 engines.
And went through 5 engines. And everybody that owns a Subaru is like, oh, well, they didn't build it right, because Subarus are actually really reliable, when in all actuality, it seems to be a pretty common case, because Subarus are very finicky, and they're not like other cars. You can't just modify them. You need to, like you can't just do it like where you take like a normal inline 6 or a V8. Like, they're a boxer engine, so they require very different care and attention.
Yeah, so you can really put cheap parts on a Subaru because they don't like it. You cannot do an intake without getting a tune. You cannot do an exhaust without getting a tune.
Wow.
So I'm guessing they could be reliable. Not 100% sure.
Well, it takes
never
money.
Experienced a Subaru that was good. But
yeah, so I'm pretty sure because of that, a lot of people who felt like Subaru might be like not a car for them is like cemented now, like forever. Like, I will never own a Subaru. I would never, especially never touch a pre-owned one or one that's been owned by 4 or 5 owners. Like, it's kind of like, why would you ever want to deal with that headache?
Yeah. I would not want to have another Subaru in my life.
Yeah, so Evo is probably the
It's a man's car.
Evo, you know that. You know where that line comes from? Top Gear?
Maybe? No, remind me. I've seen the Top Gear. And all
that's when Jeremy Clarkson says that the Stig said that the Subaru is a boy's car.
Yeah, okay, it's coming back to
and
me.
the Evo is a men's car.
Yeah.
So I think I matured to a men's car, I hope.
Dude, how about that? One of the best videos ever of an Evo is that one day compared it, what was it, to a Gallardo, I think it was, on Top Gear?
Oh, yeah.
Or was it, no, it was a Mercy. Yeah.
That one was kitted out.
No, that was the 400R or whatever, wasn't it? Or what's it called?
I think that was FQ 340 or 430 or something.
Yeah, it was like the top of the line. Yeah, it wasn't kitted out. It was like a stock for stock. Yeah, okay. It was like, when I saw that video, like, first of all, I was thinking about you half that episode. I watched all this like a year and a half ago when I binge watched it.
I think you sent it to me.
Yeah, I might have. Yeah. Because you're the Evo guy. You and my buddy. You remember Alex as well. No, you guys known each other longer than I've known either of you, I think.
Oh, Alex. Yeah, Alex.
Talon or whatever he goes
Alex
by.
Talon. Yep.
Yeah. So you guys have always been the Evo guys in my eyes. Granted, he got his Evo well after yours, but because he had that the Talon.
Yep.
But yeah, no, like, you were just kind of the first Evo guy I knew. And now, Trey lives right next to me, with the blue one. So, the son of Ratified.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's got that blue Evo 8 or whatever. So, like, I'm just surrounded by Evo 8s at this point. So that's on the bucket list to shoot this season. Yeah, so, there it is. Yeah, first video right there, that green one. Yeah, that was such a awesome. I love Mercies too.
I mean, that car is gorgeous.
Yeah, just turn it down all the way in case the mics pick it up. Yeah, throw it on in background. Dude, he's in a lot of hot water right now.
Yeah. Jeremy Clarkson, he's very opinionated.
No, but now
honestly, I think he's just, he's old and he's British, so he can do whatever he wants. He's also an automotive legend. What did he do?
Oh, bunch of shit. You know how he is. But this time it looks like he just isn't fighting back like he usually does. So it looks like they want to shut down his store or whatever at his farm. And then also I think they might be like just canceling his shows or whatever. It's still up in the air, I think. But yeah, he said some stuff about, I think it was Meghan Markle or whatever. Look at that car. That's an awesome car.
I think honestly because Amazon canceled the Grand Tour, right?
I don't know, maybe.
I think they told him to stop it.
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
Like that.
So whoever decides okay, well we want to pick him up, they're still gonna make millions of dollars off of whatever content he makes.
Yeah, regardless of where he goes. He's just so loved, Like even if he fucks up now, it's like you'll always remember him for what he is. I think. Well, then again, you also get some of these old rock bands, and then it's kind of sad sometimes. So hopefully it doesn't get to that point. But
even though Top Gear was my favorite show ever.
Yeah. Same. I think for a lot of automotive enthusiasts, Top Gear, especially this generation Top Gear, was everybody's go-to. You'd watch something that was very relatable, or just all their crazy shit that they did was super fun and entertaining always.
Yeah. Can you rip it like that?
I have. I've done donuts in my car.
Might as well pause it so it doesn't keep on ripping us. But yeah, it just smoked the shit out of the Mercy. Yeah. But it's crazy, man. I think I've been seeing this trend on TikTok where everybody's like saying like, oh, a bunch of people are saying they're sick of the car community and they're leaving. And it's like, great, the trend is finally dying. Because for a while it was just kind of cool to be a car enthusiast. And then there's, real car enthusiasts such as us who have been around for years now, and grew up with it. But for the longest time, people were doing it for clout and attention and whatever. Yeah. So what's the next event for you? I know you just... Actually, no. Tell me about this ice racing event you did last weekend.
Okay, so ASM hosted a ice, dirt, concrete event.
Triathlon?
So it was a mix of everything. And I took my drift car there.
Is that the one you whacked in a wall?
No, this is another one.
Which car is this?
This is an Infiniti, a G35.
Okay. I think I might have seen that one. What do you have done to that?
Nothing. Bone stock with a welded diff.
Okay, that'll do. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. So was ripping laps on that one, and yeah, it was just a good time hanging out with friends from Wisconsin that I don't really get to see very often.
Yeah.
But yep.
So did you have like winter tires, studded tires, or anything like that?
Just regular all seasons, because I knew I was gonna put studs on mine, but we were not gonna go on the lake.
Okay.
So, and we kind of were not supposed to be on studs on asphalt. So I put my all seasons on there and just drift it as much as I could.
Is that all-wheel drive?
Rear-wheel drive.
Rear wheel?
So try to drift as much as I could, because my first time ever clutch kicking a car. So
right.
It was interesting.
Well, that's cool. You kind of have that, like, you want to learn more, right? And I think that's what really defines a car enthusiast. Like, you want to learn more about something you don't do often.
Yeah, so I think car control is what I'm trying to learn the most. So.
Oh, that's actually a perfect, I guess, topic. So what differentiates, because you're obviously really good. If you and I were go on a track next weekend, you would absolutely dust me, even if we were in the same car. What differentiates you and the people that you look up to, that you know personally?
Well, I look up to my friends, and I'm like, I just want to be as good as them. Mm-hmm. But I think what comes with that is, like, they have a lot more seat time than I do.
Okay.
But that still pushes me to do better every time. I just want to be better. I want to be faster. I want to compete with them. But they're just on another level, man. Those guys are just really fast.
Do you think that has... So seat time's obviously important, but do you think there's some of those guys that just come in with raw talent? Or is it all just practice, you think?
Well, the talent versus hard work is a really hard topic to get to. But
yeah.
I think they are talented, but also really hard workers to become a better driver. So I think it's both, maybe.
Right.
So, yeah, I just look up to them and just figure out what they do and what they don't. I'm not an inventor. I just follow what works, what doesn't, and just do that way.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think a lot of us just kind of learn from other people. Like, very, very, very few of us invent anything new. We just kind of adapt. Yeah. But the thing that me and Sean really wanted to learn from you, because, again, you do... How many autocross events do you do a year? Like, roughly. A lot.
A lot.
At least, like, 10, probably?
Maybe more.
Yeah.
Maybe more than 10.
Yeah, more than a normal person, and way more... Or I guess, like, that's pretty much, like you're a amateur, or would you say, so like, a little bit higher level?
No, I'm an amateur.
Yeah.
I'm an amateur. I just do more because all my friends are going, so it's like a hangout spot. It's all my friends.
Hobby.
Yeah, it's like, oh, like, do you want to go shoot some pool? Versus like where your friends are like, hey, do you want to go race?
Yeah, pretty much. That's my kind of friends.
Yeah.
We don't really go do anything else than race. So, yeah, that's what I do.
So I guess, because this is something, because Sean and I have really good cars that would do really well in autocross. He's got the 1M, downstairs, and then, which is, pretty tuned up or whatever. And then you got, my GTI, which is also fairly tuned up for what it is. Do you think our cars would do well in that sort of autocross scenario?
Yeah. I think your guys' car would do great.
Yeah, no, they're very like, they're sporty cars. They're a little bit more track focused, so they should perform pretty well. But it's all about the driver, honestly, because if there's one thing that I've seen is that somebody could spend $200,000 on a car but still get lapped by someone in a $50,000 car, just because the $50,000 car driver knows way more technical sense, like going around the lap, the speed, the braking, like everything, than like somebody with a $200,000 car. And I've seen that with you when we went to Pikes Peak International Raceway, and you were on a McLaren's ass. It was a 675 LT.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that.
And like that, I remember that driver was, you know, a very, very cool guy, but you know, he just didn't have the driver knowledge like you did.
Yeah, I remember him coming talk to me. He's like, how much power is in this thing? I was like, 500. He's like, what else is done to this car? I was like, a lot, but I mean, your car is beautiful. And he was like, yeah, but I'm not that fast. I was like, well, it comes with time, but that car was really gorgeous.
Yeah.
I think I
remember the GT500 one. That one was a good race between both of us.
Yeah, and that was when he was stock, so I actually got to drive that car once or twice this year. I drove it for 2 days or whatever on the 10K Lakes Rally or whatever, and it was a 1014 to the wheels, and I fucking love that car. And he has it dialed in very well by, what was it, DB Performance? I think that's the shop we got locally.
1,000 horse.
Yeah. Dude, and you know what's crazy is I actually managed to hook it in second, and he shit himself.
But what's second though? Like, doesn't it get to like up to like 80 miles an hour?
No, it was low end second. Like, we just turned left or whatever. I think I hooked it at around 30 or 40, and I didn't get it to brake. Like, I've had it brake multiple times on me, but that's when I just best send it a day. Yeah, so that's 675 LT. That's, I mean, it was pretty equal in weight to what you are. Or was it heavier, probably?
It's probably heavier.
Yeah.
My car weighs 30. Well, back then it was a full interior car.
Yeah.
And probably was like 3,500 pounds with me in it.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, the McLaren was probably lighter then.
Yep.
Yeah, so then, you know, and it has probably a little more to the wheels power-wise. So, yeah, I mean, it comes down to, I guess, driver.
Yeah, 100% driver mod.
Yeah, but then Mark also in the GT500, he has so much seat time. Maybe a little, I don't know if he has, he probably has less than you, but he's also older than you. So maybe long-term seat time, because I know he goes up to Brainerd regularly for like private events and stuff. Like he has a S197 just built to the gills or whatever. It's E85, gets only like 100 miles to the gallon, or not to the gallon. Jesus, that's Prius.
Yeah, but that thing's like more built for drag racing.
No, that's a track car. Yeah.
Is
he
it
doesn't
track
drag
car?
much. Yeah, he has a setup.
I could
to
not
handle.
imagine taking that thing around a track. That thing seems way too crazy.
Yeah, no, that guy is a car guy throughout. Like I love that guy. He's a hoot and a half. But ultimately, yeah, driver mod. So the other thing that I kind of learned, especially in the last year since I got my car, is learning how big of an impact tires have on a car. So I guess if somebody were to get a new car right now, what are the first 3 things they should buy if they want to go to a track?
2022 BRZ 86, the twins now with a 2.4 liter engine.
Mm-hmm.
They're really nice driver cars. I would say the second one, I don't even know.
I mean mods, not cars.
Oh, mods.
Yeah. Like, or not mods, or just
tires,
things to do. Tires,
suspension. That's pretty much the only 2 things I would do to a car.
Okay.
The most significant ones.
Yeah,
I
like
guess.
so wheels, so like a rim and tire combo.
Yep.
And then doing like your suspension, like coilovers.
Yeah.
And probably, I don't even know. Maybe like an exhaust just to sound a little bit cooler.
Like if you want
maybe an exhaust, yeah. I mean, I like to hear my car when I'm racing, so.
Yeah, well, you probably do a lot based off of sound too, right?
Yeah, a lot of people race by sound because, you know, when you're driving, you're looking straight at the road. You don't have time to even like for half a second to look down and see your tachometer and like see where that shift point is. You eventually like pick up like this is where I shift at this like at this pitch of my exhaust. I shift.
I should shift. Yeah. Yep.
So,
but
go for it.
don't ever cheap out on coilovers. That's my biggest thing with people that start tracking is like, oh, I have this set of Megan Racings that I just purchased for autocross. And I'm like, why don't you just spend like $500 more and you get a nice set of all-ins or something?
Wait, you're telling me Wish.com doesn't sell the most quality of suspension setups?
No. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
So Megan Racing's not a go-to?
You should do like a Wish.com build.
Should we? Should we do one?
Oh,
that'd be hilarious. If you got unlimited money or whatever, that'd be a hilarious YouTube series.
We would just need like $5,000. We could kit out the whole car.
That'd be hilarious.
Do you want to donate your car for a Wish.com
I don't know if
track built?
No, let's donate your brother's car.
Yeah. Oh man, that thing's in pieces right now. So Megan Racing's not a great brand then.
I had to switch mine, well, for a competitive side of things.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to just go with the stock suspension, stock tires, and just go have fun,
right?
Go ahead. You're not gonna have more fun than $40 on an autocross track on a weekend. It's just the best way to go. Is just jump in there, man.
Yeah, just go.
Just go. Have fun. Enjoy your car.
Yeah, so that's kind of one of the reasons we wanted to have you here is just think, because like right now I'm kind of in a place where I have to buy new tires, I have to get my suspension dialed in or whatever, and all those things. Because I have all, like I have adjustable coilovers. I got Bilsteins. Are those good?
Yeah.
Okay. So my brother's got what the hell what's the other big one? BC. So he's got BC, and he thinks, and maybe it's true, it probably is, that his coilovers are better or that they have better dampening. I mean, can you speak to that at all? I guess. Do you know those brands well?
I mean, BC comes with, you can order them with like custom valving and stuff like that, so it all comes. I mean, if it's off the shelf, I don't know.
No, the ones that he got were really high quality. So
probably a step up for mine then.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because I know I have the whole build list that Kyle, the previous owner of my car, did or whatever, and he told me the price of them, and I was like, my brother's might be similar or a little bit more, but yeah, they're pretty solid.
Yeah, those BC coil, he did not cheap out on those.
Well, yeah, because he knew what his plans were for the car, and granted, he doesn't want to even add more power or whatever. He just likes where it's at, and you could have a ton of fun with 200 wheel, just
a lot of fun.
Well, I think it's for me, it's like even I sometimes am worried about breaking loose, and it's kind of funny to say with such little power, but I am only front wheel drive, so it's like, I mean, I could roast my tires leaving the street right now, if it was in the summer. So I remember him and I did a dig, Durango versus GT at the stoplight over here by Mystic. And
Sean is just laughing at that.
Yeah. It always makes me laugh whenever I think about it.
Dude, I'm like, I'm not moving. I was in place. And then I eventually hooked, and then he was a quarter mile down the road by the time I hooked. Dude.
So race was over then, once you hooked.
What race? Yeah, I mean, it's cute. He still beats me in a roll, but it was closer before he amped up the power on the 1M. It was lightly modified beforehand, I'd say. And then he added another 50 or 80 horsepower or whatever.
I've had it pretty much stock up until last year, and then I started going a little bit more power, like doing intercooler and exhaust, downpipes, all that.
Didn't we race before you got the intercooler, I think? But you still had some mods done to it, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was like relatively similar power. Or no, I think you were at like 400 wheel at the time. Exactly, and I'm at 380-ish.
Yeah.
And then our napkin math said, well, he's dual clutch, and then he's manual, and then, it should be close. So he was basically, he gets the jump on me, gets about a half a car ahead of me, and then we're just equal the whole way, accelerating the same way.
No, I still get away from you.
Well, no. What are you talking about? No,
we need video for this.
Yeah, you have video of this.
Yeah, out of my 6,000 TikToks that I make a day, yeah, I'll find it at some point. But yeah, it was.
Yeah, you go review the footage.
I'll review the footage, and also the previous podcast where he admits that we were accelerating the same. So, but no, he gets the jump, and then we just kind of until 140 allegedly. It was, yeah. It's not like you were pulling away heavily at all.
No, it was a pretty even matchup, but now with the final setup that I'm in, I don't think.
No,
Unless you
the
go.
doors off me.
Yeah, well, not blow the doors, but I'd definitely be walking away from you.
For sure. I thought about going E85 because, again, Rat is my neighbor, so it's like if I were to take my business anywhere, it'd be to him. I'm actually going to go to their shop. I should schedule an appointment here soon just because I'd rather have the pros take a look at it, just dial it in for me. My coil wrenches and just be like, here, go to town, just give it a shakedown. So I guess, yes. What should I buy? I was thinking about just getting PS4s because I daily drive this thing again, and I love those tires, but I don't know. What would you recommend?
For autocross purposes, I always try to see if you really want to go to a 200 treadwear tire.
Okay.
So, a good starting point of tire is the Falcon RT 660s.
Yeah, I actually have the list right here from the last time we talked. I'm
gonna
pull it up. Yeah, because I saved that. I was like, I need to save that. Absolutely. So Falcon. Yeah. Here's what you told me. I like the Falcon RT 660. Good tire, really fast. The Kumo 730, cheaper but still good. Holy Grail, Yokohama AO 52.
Yeah, you don't want to daily drive on Yokos because they're really expensive tires.
Yeah.
I don't even know what size tires you run, but.
So I'm gonna stay at 235s. I was looking at getting new wheels, but then I was like, I don't want to dump more money into this car right now. So I was just like, I'll stick with the 235s. I got decent wheels too. I got Koenigs downstairs. They're bald. You'll see them after the show. But
Koenigs are great. I like Koenigs.
They're a great cheap wheel, I think. Yeah.
They're coming out with really nice wheels too. So
yeah,
I don't see why not run them. And they're cheap. You can get them anywhere for like $200, $300.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on reps?
Rep
wheels, yeah.
I don't know. I bent a lot of regular wheels. I don't want to break them.
Yeah, I don't think you should really be running reps. They're usually lower quality.
No, you're preaching to the choir here. I think, I'm not. I would never do reps. It's like, it's your safety, dude. Like,
yeah, they're heavy.
Are they?
Yeah.
So definitely not for autocross purposes then.
No, but maybe try the Kumos or the Falcon 615s. They last a long time. They're good tires, and you can do laps and laps and laps, and they will just not wear out.
And you think would those be decent for dailying or not so much?
I think so. Just be careful when there's standing water around. that's with any performance tire pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. I've only hydroplaned a couple times on the PS4s.
So do you not like PS4s, or are
they're not as fast?
They're not as fast?
Yeah. For a daily driver or a person that takes it to a car show, sure. But for track purposes, I'd rather go to a step up of that one.
Right. Okay. But so this guy, Harris, he's not going to go to the track as often as you do. He might go to the track
like twice this season, maybe.
Twice this season.
Yeah, so the Michelins.
Get the Michelins.
It's going to be a better tire for you, especially if you just daily drive the car.
Yeah, I got like 30,000 miles out of the last ones. Yeah, no, I went way over. I kept sliding. You'll see how bald they are.
I get probably like 10,000 to 15,000 on mine.
That's what I was told I should get.
Yeah, you roasted those boys.
Dude, but it worked. Shit, that's what they do to prevent themselves from lawsuits. But then you get, idiots like me that add an extra 10,000 miles on the tire. I'm the tire whisperer. I'm like Checo Perez, dude.
Checo. I love Checo. The Minister of Defense.
Yeah, so actually, just a little sideline here. Who's your favorite driver right now?
Lewis Hamilton. Oh, now?
I guess of all time and now.
Oh, Lewis Hamilton, probably still my favorite driver.
Okay.
He got that 8th title taken away from him.
I think so, realistically.
I think if you look at the rules, they kind of did it so they finished the racing not under a safety car, but it should have ended under a safety car. It was not the right call, but oh well. It's okay. It's not that Mercedes was somewhere this past season anyways.
Right, yeah. I'm excited. Dude, you saw all the liveries too, dude. I love the Mercedes. I think that's the best looking car on the grid right now.
Oh, the all black car? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Ferrari looks really cool.
That's my third favorite. I like the Alfa more than the Ferrari.
The Alfa looks cool.
That's mean as hell. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
I always send you memes about F1 stuff.
Dude, I got a few people like that to send me F1 memes, and it's just that's my favorite part about being in the position I am in the car community. Is like I can get along with so many people because one, I'm not an asshole for the most part, but also like I could just talk about anything like F1, and then I got a bunch of friends in fitness or whatever, and it's just like I'm not the best driver. I'm not the most in shape, but I can still talk to anybody about anything. So,
yeah.
Okay, so
you're a jack of all trades.
I'd like to think I am, but so okay, PS4s for me. I'm safe staying with that, just based off of my quality. But let's say Sean, because he has multiple cars to choose from. I really don't.
No, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm maybe going to the track like 2 or 3 times this year, and it's probably going to be with you, or it's on the rally. So PS4s till the day I die, or until I
decide to be more competitive.
Until I get more competitive and have like a dedicated track car.
Well, the first thing you'd probably recommend too is like even before investing in a quality tire. I mean, or because PS4s are quality, but we're saying super quality, right? If you want best performance, I mean, before you even get there, you probably want to develop some skills first anyway.
Yes. That's learning how to drive your car is probably the most important thing.
Yeah, you don't want to go like changing everything about your car and then like
not know what it does.
Exactly.
That's what I did. That was my mistake. I just put a bunch of money in my car thinking that I was going to go really fast and went to autocross, and it got destroyed.
Yeah, and then you got to figure out, okay, how do I fix this? And then you're doubling the money that you would have spent.
Yep, should have done it right the first time.
But you only make that mistake once.
Yeah, you're teaching a lot of people right now. I mean, our listens have been going up week over week. So that's kind of why I love having people like you come on who it's not like you're 60 years old and you can't talk to us, but you're kind of in this nice spot where like you don't have decades worth of experience, but you have enough experience to teach the next people coming up, such as me and Sean,
Yeah, I want to really take you guys out for an autocross event.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be so cool.
That's my number one priority this season. Is I want to get some track time, and then I also want to take the AMG out somewhere, or because my dad, he's always wanted to take it on a track. He actually wanted to go on my North Rally until I canceled it to get some track time with the AMG. So that's one of the priorities this year. Is I want that to become like our hobby, because with my brother and Eric, they'll go out snowboarding, skiing. I am damaged goods, dude. I'm not an athlete. So I'm like, but I can drive, and after talking with Mark, especially after he saw how I drove on the mini rally, he's like, dude, you can fucking drive, especially because I was on that Mustang's ass, dude, the whole time. So that's one of my plans this year is I need to get to the track and learn from people like you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down to go. I mean, sometimes I even go out by myself. So having people to go with and just have a good time. I mean, why not? So, yeah, we're gonna go.
What tracks do you frequent? Like if you're going like by yourself, or if it's like
Well, usually like DCTC.
Dakota
County College. They host a lot of events there, and it's only like 20 minutes from my house, 25 minutes from my house. So it's not too far.
Yeah, I've actually been there once myself. I took the Gray Challenger, the SRT, for my first time there. And I spun out, went into the grass, and I almost hit a wall. Scariest moment ever, because I was like, this is my brand new Challenger, and I'm about to wreck this shit. But luckily, I like stopped, and my tire de-beaded itself from the rim.
Holy shit!
Just barely though, and nothing got ruined on the car. The rims were fine because I was on grass, and it was just, I just slid right through. And at the track, I was able to actually use like an air compressor and bead the tire back onto the rim. Wow. And I got to drive right back home.
And who hosted the event? Impulse Performance?
I don't remember. It was like it had to have been like 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
So it was
That's way before I was tracking.
Really?
Yeah, I started racing back in 2019. So not too long ago.
So how old are you?
26.
26? Oh, damn.
So you guys are about the same age.
I'm 27. And
when you aged like 2 years in the last month.
And you're like,
what the
well,
fuck?
you were like 22. I don't really think about age that often, but yeah, I can't get a read on your age. Sorry, but
I know.
was like,
look younger.
Are you younger, older? But then you said that, I'm like, okay, wait, what? Did he just get his driver's license? What's going on here? Because you seem like you have a lot of experience, and that just goes to show like. You go more often, you learn more.
I'm very financially not great. So I just spend all my money on race cars and just track days. And thank God I have my fiance that just supports me, and she's like, okay, go have your own fun. But just 3 years of just like nonstop racing pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not that long for me. not too long. This is my 4th year racing, so.
Did you get much practice before that?
No.
Okay,
2019 was my first time that my friends were
in
like,
a Subaru.
"Oh, yeah, let's go on autocross," and I was like, "Sure."
There's still hope for like you and me. We can get better. It seems like the attainable, like the time that it takes to get better seems a little bit more attainable.
Oh, for sure. I mean, just go have fun. Just
be
go
around the right
fun.
people too.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true. You don't want to be with like the newbies, and you're like, oh yeah, it's just my one-time thing.
Yeah, you're never learning. You're always on the C group or whatever. All the people who've only raced like once or twice before.
Yeah.
You want to eventually get into that B group.
Yep, pretty much. And I actually got submerged, and I got pulled from being a newbie, and then my friend Ronnie, which I consider a mentor when I race, and my friend Paul from RS Motors, those two guys just grabbed me and they were like, "No, we're gonna race. We're gonna make you better. We're gonna try this. Keep trying that. Keep trying this." And just driving, and that's how I improved year to year. And it was thanks to them, because they were like, "Okay, you're doing this wrong," and I was like, well, "How do I fix it?" It was like, "Well, fix it, and then you come back to me, and then tell me how the rest of your lap is." And I was like, "Okay, thanks." Yeah, that's why I think I got to the place that I am, which I don't think I'm really great at anything. I just think I'm doing well enough that it matters.
Yeah,
I guess.
So have you only done like physical racing, like you go out to the track, or have you also done like sim racing?
I recently just got forced to be into sim racing by my friends. They're like, no, we're gonna get a computer so you can sim race with us. And I was like, okay, great, like I'll do it, because I was racing on a laptop kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been trying to get into sim racing a lot more often now. But
okay. And does that the skills transfer over into that as well?
I never thought it was gonna make that much of a change.
No.
It's insane how much sim racing helps you translate that into a real race car. It's insane. But yeah.
So is this something that's like pretty like you see it a lot in the winter, especially here in the Midwest, because there's not a lot of racing.
Yep.
So a lot of people, will go to their PC and set up their winter sim racing, and
that's actually what a lot of people do here. Is like, oh, season's over, and then just a bunch of iRacing leagues. And they're like, oh yeah, there's this league. So I started joining those things, and it helps a lot, and it's a good time to be with your friends. You're gaming anyways, so you might as well just be with your friends. So.
What's which simulating game or whatever do you use?
Well, in PC I use iRacing.
Okay.
And I don't know. I don't really use anything else much. Just Xbox, maybe like Forza Motorsport.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys that kind of like choose like iRacing or Assetto Corsa or whatever.
Yep.
There's just kind of seems like there's almost like a cult around each one.
I know there is.
Yeah.
There's a lot. A lot of people just like, oh, no, iRacing is better. Oh no, Assetto Corsa is better. But I don't know. I like iRacing. I have not really tried Assetto, so I can't comment on.
Yeah, I remember seeing like I follow like a TikTok or whatever, some kid or whatever that it's like 16, 17, like a really good like up and comer or whatever. And then just all the comments are like, oh, well, the way you hit the rumble strips in this game is different than in this game. And it's just like all these, or like
the physics.
Yeah, it just, there's so much to it, but an actual pro can definitely tell. That's actually one of the other really cool things about F1. It's like the people who develop the cars are the backup drivers. Mm-hmm. I kind of got reminded of that yesterday, I think, or whatever. Like whoever the backup is for McLaren or whatever, and I saw an article about them, and I was like, oh, it's really cool. Like how it's not even the main drivers that help develop it; it's the backup drivers. But yeah, no, we should go half and half on a sim rig, dude. Because like Eric's building a really sweet one right now too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, it's just I don't know if he's been done. He was trying to convince me and my dad, and we're just like, we have nowhere to put it, dude. Like.
Yeah, mine is the foldable chair one.
Okay.
Because I live in an apartment, so I just try to like have as much space as I can. So I just fold my chair.
Okay.
Whenever I was in the living room, but we cleared up some space on the another bedroom, and now I have my all set up there.
That's awesome. How much did you spend on it?
$250 maybe almost.
Okay, so it's like
it's a pretty beginner, pretty like.
But it still helps you a lot.
Yeah, For sure.
Okay, that's cool. So that's nice to know you can get into it cheap. Did you already have like a computer and everything though?
Well, my friends gave me the computer.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go home today and install it because I have not done that in a while.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'm excited. I'd really love to get that because I also got the Formula 2022 game mode. I started playing that on my computer, and it's like I had the controller, and I'm like, I'm not getting the full experience here.
I know. I got my steering wheel from Facebook Marketplace. The Logitech G27, G29, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that's another beginner kind of steering wheel as well.
Yeah, well, I didn't know much. I was like, I just want to have a steering wheel.
Yeah, because like if you want to get into like more expensive equipment, it's like Fantech, and that's like $1,000 just for the steering wheel.
Yep. Shit, that'll break your thumbs too.
Yeah, have you seen people that crash and they have to let go of the steering wheel?
Yeah,
because they'll just destroy the
I haven't seen that. Yeah, but those things have like built-in haptic feedback, and so yeah, it'll like if you crash and it'll know like, oh, like the physics generator in the game will be like, oh, well, you crashed, so your steering wheel is going to do this. So you got to...
I remember the first time, and I've only been on a sim rig once, so you know Alex Sajati, I think, right? Maybe, but either way, he races like Porsche Cup cars, or not Cup car, whatever it is, the GT4 Cup car, whatever it is. But one time I was on his sim, and I crashed, obviously, look at who you're talking to, and the wheel just whips around, and he says, yeah, that's not even the hardest setting, dude. Like, people break their thumbs on these things, and it's like, your thumb's pretty hard to break, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of do want to get like a really nice sim rig, but you're talking about a lot of money.
$3,000 to $4,000, you know, for a decent one. And then if you want like a kick-ass one, you're talking, you know, 10 G's.
I know, the one that just moves every time you hit the brakes, it leans forward.
You can spend so much on that. It's another addiction too.
It is. That's why I like mine where it's at. I just want to get better with that. Just have no excuses when I lose.
Yeah, excuses are great. No, so that's awesome, dude. Like for us, we talked about this before. It's like we just want to get some more seat time and just learn, because my problem is that I have an addictive personality. So if I go into it once and I like it, I'm gonna go 10 times. Like it's just, and it gets expensive real quick. So what's the most expensive part about racing? Probably tires.
More than likely tires. Yeah, I swap tire. I have 2 sets of wheels and tires for my cars.
Okay.
And I go through 2 sets per car every year.
Wow. Okay.
So it does. Tires do get expensive.
Yeah. Thankfully, I'll only roast my front ones.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's pretty cool. So, what about suspension wise? Do you want to run your cars as low as possible, or how can you set it up? You know, do you want it pointy, or what's some terminology? Throw it at me. Teach me something.
Well, I mean, ride height. It's more like you want to be low to the ground, but not so low that the bottom starts hitting. Well, especially with the splitter.
That's what happens to me.
Yeah. So you don't want to be, because we run a 3-inch splitter from the bumper, and you want it to be super low.
Right.
But if you start bottoming out on corners, you lose all the grip, because the splitter doesn't clear any air underneath the car. So you want to be low, but not extremely low that you're scraping all the time. Mm-hmm. There's different settings for everything. Like road course, you want to be at almost no toe in the back, and for autocross, you want to be towed out for like better turn in and stuff like that. So there's multiple things that I'm still learning.
Right. From
like other people that are like, oh yeah, you want to run this kind of settings. You want to run this. I'm like, okay. So I'm still learning about that.
And you adjust for each track and all that, or whatever.
Oh yeah, we adjust for each track. Different more alignment stuff, but camber and stuff pretty much stays the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Did you want to chime in on that? It looked like you're ready. I saw you. Yeah.
Sorry. No, I can't even think of what I was going to say. You got me distracted.
No.
Because I was just thinking about how low your car is, and yeah, we need to bring that back up.
Yeah, the front for sure.
Probably adjust your dampening.
Dude, so when we went on the mini rally, when I was up the Mustang's ass, I would literally take corners so hard, I would be scraping through the corner. Like, I would go into it with such a G-force into it.
Like your front bumper scraping?
It was like my front bumper. No, I think I was rubbing against my wheels. I don't know what the sound was. It was not a good sound. But, yeah, there was just maybe 3 or 4 times. I hit a bump at one point. so hard that it turned on my windshield wipers. It was hilarious. I had Chase in my car. I think you remember Chase. He was on
I'm
the
not
first
good with
Venom.
names.
He had the Black Challenger the first year of Venom.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the 392.
Yeah, dude, that guy is a fucking riot. I need to get him and Ari on here and just get them going because those guys are a blast. But yeah, no, it was kind of funny. That's when I realized like I should probably dial this car in a little bit more because I'm probably a little too low on the front, especially when I hit those corners, at high speed. And
I'll just race it a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a quarter inch.
Yeah, because we dropped the back a quarter and the front a half when we did it. So, yeah, just got to do a little touch up on that. But my winter wheels are so heavy. I thought about using them as racing wheels, but they're just so heavy, dude. Like, the difference between my winters and my summers is ridiculous.
Well, the Conics are really light wheels. They're really light.
They're about, I think, 18 a wheel. I think it was. I think
18 pounds a wheel.
I think so. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, because I remember I was looking at some of the wheels I was looking to upgrade to, and it was like 20, 21, 22, and then, that rotational force is so important. So it's like, yeah, I think I'll stick with the Koenigs for a while.
Yeah, I mean, Conics are not bad wheels. A lot of people give them bad reviews and stuff, but I like them. I run them in my FRS all the time.
Okay.
So I really do like them.
What are the wheels that you sent me a picture of last week?
I just...
Or you're not...
So I have Volk Racing Z40s.
Yeah,
now.
those are sweet.
They are so pretty.
It's a pretty wheel.
Everybody keeps telling me not to track on those wheels, but I already got a set of race tires to go on them. So I don't learn from my mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, what made you choose that wheel?
My friend had them.
Okay.
I bought it from him.
Okay, so they're a used set from your buddy then?
No, they're brand new wheels.
Oh, they're brand new.
Brand
okay, somebody local or?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Okay, that's pretty cool. Do you have a lot of friends nationally as well because of these grid life type events?
Yeah, I started getting more friends from like Michigan and my friend from Alabama, Wisconsin, Kentucky. So yeah, all around the place now. It's cool. It's cool to go and experience different tracks that whenever you're just locally, you will never think about those tracks.
Right.
So cool. Grid life is such an amazing thing.
Well, yeah, especially because you're around a lot of different people, and especially when you meet people, you can learn something from everyone.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for this season. I think this will be a great season
because the season is only like a month away, 2 months away now.
Yeah, April is, I think, a lot of people's, beginning of, and it's when a lot of tracks start opening up again too.
Yeah.
That's what people call insurance. Like, give me that insurance set up again.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I was down in Barber last month, so it was January, but I was still getting some track time. So.
Where's Barber again?
Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay. Do you have anything planned to travel nationally this year?
Yes. So I'm going to Audubon.
Yeah.
In June. And I'm going to Michigan for Gingerman in June as well. So that's 3 racetracks. I'm going to Proving Grounds in here locally. So that's 3 racetracks. So every weekend I have a racetrack to go to.
Wow.
So.
Yeah. Oh, actually, here's a good question. Full track versus like autocross. So what's the difference there for, I guess, a newbie like us? What can we prepare for, I guess, mentally, or just kind of know going into it? So like, let's say Brainerd versus DCTC.
DCTC, you would be fine in your stock brakes. Obviously for autocross stuff, if you're doing lapping around DCTC, you should upgrade your brakes and brake fluid. Brainerd is just so fast. It's well over 120 miles an hour in any car, unless that you have a FRS, which I only hit 120.
Right.
That's top max speed. But I mean, if you have like 380 horse, your car should be hitting 140, 145 in Brainerd.
Wow.
That's really fast.
Yeah, so you want to be ready, and then what speed? I think I know what corner is that? Is that turn 1 or no? Because I don't know the track well.
It's turn 2, turn 3.
Turn 2 is the long right-hander that is not banked. It's pretty much flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you come out of that,
it's a wall.
You're still curving, and you at some point you have to start braking for turn 3, which is I'm trying to remember. It's
like 110 degree corner or something like that.
Yeah.
So you're coming at it at 120 plus, and then you got to brake to like 60, 80.
Yeah, I don't think it's a very like beginner friendly track.
I mean, a lot of people. I started on that racetrack. It was when I went to Proving Grounds. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do autocross, and then they were like, oh, but you can do the big road course. I was like, sure, I'll try it. And it's scary because there's walls everywhere.
Exactly. The first time I went there, I saw somebody from like Group A, like one of the experts. They were in a BMW, like an E46, like 1997 body. Thing was like roll caged, big bucket seats, everything. Like, dude knew what he was doing. And it was like getting towards like the end of the day, and I was like, I put down a pretty good lap time, and I was like, after that group went, it was like my group's turn. I was like, I'm gonna go back out there. I'm gonna get an even better lap time. I watched this guy slide across right in front of me, hit the wall like 3 times, and I'm like, you know what? I'm actually pretty good for today. I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, Brainer's scary. I've seen so many accidents in that track. That it's
part of racing, though.
It's part of racing. I mean.
Oh yeah, 100%. But like this guy in his track car, like he's okay. Me in my one car that I took there, I'm not okay to crash this.
Yeah, I mean, always drive within your limits.
Yeah.
That's always because I'm an instructor, and I always see people trying to like push the limits of their car.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just drive within the limits of your car. Just drive safe. Like, the biggest trophy you can take is your car back home. It's simple as that.
That's a good way of putting it.
I mean, if you win, I've won plastic trophy and like 100 Brainer bucks.
Right.
It's not worth crashing my car into a wall. So I just always like, car has to get back home in a trailer, running. That's it. Running and driving. That's the biggest take for me for a weekend.
That's a good thing. I think I'm gonna highlight that.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm gonna put that in my diary tonight. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the other thing about this podcast too, is I love having this to go back to listen to. So when I was listening back to the one with Bryce or whatever, it's like, oh yeah, I kind of like didn't understand that, so I could re-listen to it or whatever. I'm gonna listen to this on the way to the track for sure.
Oh yeah. I'm just so excited. I want to take Harris. I've been telling Harris to go on a racetrack with me for
years now.
3 years.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, we'll do it. 2 weeks before leaving, he's like, man, this come up. I just can't go. I'm like, man, I've been trying so hard.
Well, to be fair, when you and I fucking met, I had the Charger for a short time, and then I had the Cherokee, and then I'm not taking a Gladiator to the track, and now I got the GTI. I've had it for a year and 3 months now, so, and I think this one might be the keeper for a while. We'll see what that ends up. I go through cars, but this is the first one that I've owned,
Yeah.
Or at least have it's not a lease, so I have a little more reason to keep it, especially with how well dialed in it is. I mean, props to Kyle. He killed it on this car. The only thing I've added was the fucking diffuser. That's it. And it, it's not like it's a high performance diffuser or anything. So,
yeah. But
no, I'm excited, man. I think you're a great person to learn from. I think you're humble enough to know that you suck, but you're also great. You got 5th out of 60 people, dude, but you're just like, oh man, but I could be better,
You can always be better.
Yeah, and I like that. I think that's the best. The best coach is the one that's still a student.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So, is the BMW going to go on track this year?
Oh, 100%.
100%?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to take the Durango. Body roll on that would be so sketchy. I've seen people who take their Trackhawks, like Jeep Grand Cherokees and Durangos, and whenever they take like a corner like super sharp and they're going hella fast, I see them do like the 3-wheel motion, and the one tire, the tire in the front picks up, and then I'm like,
that's scary.
Yeah, that's scary. Like that's like dangerous. You're this close to rolling. I feel like, or like you're unbalancing the car. You lose 100% grip in that corner, and when that comes back down, you're gonna feel a whole lot of that in the wheel as you're driving.
I mean, I wouldn't want to track an SUV regardless.
Yeah, no, that's just silly.
So, you guys want to do autocross, road course?
What are we
doing? What are we doing?
We're thinking probably autocross is like a pretty low risk one to start with.
Okay.
Yeah, we're taking I'll take the BMW. That's probably like the safest car that I could bring.
I mean, it's a nice car for autocross. It's little, nimble.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to at least try to do it once before we go on the community rally, because that's going to be the Autobahn road course. I mean, granted, again, I'm probably not going to track his car there because I don't want to destroy it. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to get at least 1 or 2 autocross events in before the community rally in May. Hopefully.
Yeah, May's coming up quick though. This year is going by fast.
I still need to order tires, dude. I don't have summer tires yet.
Well,
you'll get them quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to get them before everybody starts ordering them.
Well, thankfully for me, I have multiple avenues I can go through. I could go through my pop's dealership. I know so many of the shops around here, so we'll see. We'll see what happens, but yeah, it'd be nice. I'm excited, man. I'm running out of things to talk about unless you got anything in mind.
Let me try to think. You just
rack your brain. I'm just gonna throw it out. Yeah. I defer all responsibility, but yeah, you ponder on that finishing note. But no, man, I think I think you were a perfect guest to come on at the perfect time. So I was really happy that you came on here.
I was actually surprised you were like, "Oh, I want you in the podcast." I was like, "Why? I'm just a regular man."
Well, dude, this is supposed to be the regular guy kind of podcast. And granted, will this ever get big enough to have some, big kahunas? Sure, why not? But I like talking to people who I can relate to, right? Like, what you're doing is, for the most part, attainable to me and Sean. It's like, it's not like it's so impossible. Now, if I wanted to go race, Super Trofeos somewhere, that's a bit of a reach. But if I want to go autocross in my cute little GTI, I think you can help me out with that.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And like, I've known you so long that I'm like, I just want to get you on track.
Right.
Because you've been taking pictures of cars on track, but I want to see your car on track. How about that?
I'm excited, man. I definitely had a few confidence boosters, especially being around actually fast people, on rallies and all this stuff.
You drove 1,000 horsepower cars.
Yeah, no, I'm comfortable behind the wheel, and I'm also not stupid. That's the other thing too. And I'm sure you see this with a lot of rookies too. It's like they come into it with too much confidence, like, oh yeah, man, I'm good at racing or whatever. I'm humble enough to know that I can die, or really hurt myself or my car.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Just people don't understand that you can go fast, but can you, like, if something happens, I don't think a lot of people have the ability to, I can get out of myself with this sticky situation.
Yeah.
And whenever I hop in the car with a rookie, I'm like, okay, hit the brakes now, hit the brakes, and they don't hit the brakes, and then they hit at the last minute. I'm like, okay, let's go back to the pits and let me just lose everything again, because it was there's some people that
have bad habits.
Yeah, really bad habits. But I mean, for the most part, people that start, they're very humble about it.
Okay.
So nobody goes like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take turn 2 at 120 miles an hour. Most people like let off, take it easy, which that's the way to learn. But
yeah, grow incrementally.
Yeah, pretty much.
That makes sense. What are some of the worst habits you've seen, especially being an instructor?
Riding the brakes. Just when people instead of braking hard, they just brake slowly for a corner. Kind of like you're coming to stoplight.
Yeah.
And just people go like, no, your brakes are going to overheat.
Yeah.
We're going 100 miles an hour. You just got to hit the brakes, let them cool off. Other than that, I don't know, people just not holding the steering wheel right. That always was my pet peeve. It's like they're holding it like up here and they turn. And I'm like, why are you doing that? I don't know.
So 10 and 2, don't do that.
Yeah.
You want to be 9 and 3.
9 and 3, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me if this is true. So I got to experiment with this a little bit in go-karting. I definitely have gained year over year, but I'm a big fat guy. And then also I just don't have a lot of skills. But one thing I learned is like you want to be as smooth as possible. But also when it comes to braking, is it true that you just want to be either on the accelerator or on the brake? You don't want to be like in a midst of between the two?
You don't want to be in the middle of like gas and brake and just let off. Okay. You want to be either on the gas or on the brake. And yes, smooth is fast. Smooth is always fast.
Okay. And then also, damn, I just lost. I'm getting a little bit winded here. So basically, once you're done braking, you just kind of want to coast through a corner. And then the second you're basically through the apex is when you want to start accelerating, basically, or?
Well, once you're off the brake, kind of you want to be on the gas.
Okay.
So regardless if you're barely hitting the gas, but you're on the gas, that's what matters. The car's settled.
Right.
Because once you're off the brake, the car gets unsettled, and then I don't know. There's different scenarios.
You gotta feel it. Yeah.
From different stuff. But
one really cool thing about Formula One, at least in the last few years, is they have that the foot cam or whatever, so you can see like when they're braking and accelerating, what they're doing. And have you seen this before?
I mean, I've seen a lot of driving videos that show that kind of visual. Yeah. That's nothing new. You see it in drift cars. Yep. You see it in like Nürburgring videos. People, showing off their fancy footwork. Double clutching and all that.
I think that's so helpful, and just understanding how a car, especially when I learned that tip, because I used to ride the brake in go-karting, but it's like it just has translated so well. And granted, you shouldn't practice on the street, but when you're in the middle of the woods up north, I got to practice a little.
I do practice on my car when I just drive to work. I mean, if I'm driving a manual, I usually heel toe to a downshift.
Right.
That's the best way to learn, is to get comfortable with it. Like you got to build the muscle.
Yeah.
How to do it.
Yeah, make it second nature. Yeah, I remember he's actually the one that taught me manual. In the Z3 downstairs, I learned from I think Sandra, but with the FRS, but she taught me like some super basics, but I didn't consider myself knowing manual. But him and we took the Z3. It was the middle of winter, I think, or like halfway through winter, and we went over here to Canterbury, and I mean, we just kept doing laps, and I would stall every single time on the light.
Oh yeah, we just did like 30 minutes until you didn't stall and you could comfortably come to a stop. Get out of first, stop, and repeat that process until you stop stalling, and you were comfortable.
He was such a great coach, and dude, nothing makes me happier than a good coach. Because whether it's cars or fitness or whatever, I can tell when somebody is not confident in the advice they're giving. But when Sean was teaching me, I felt like, all right, cool, I can drive a manual, so.
There you go.
Yeah, well, for every good teacher, there needs to be a good student.
That helps too.
As long as you're willing to learn and
true.
receive my instruction.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm excited, man. I hope to see you on the track this year. I hope to learn from you.
Maybe you can drive the Evo then, and co-drive the Evo on one of those.
I don't drive manual enough to be good at it, though. That's the unfortunate part, is I only drive a manual maybe a half an hour to an hour a year. So it's like I can get in and I can, do it, but it would probably take me 2 or 3 hours behind the seat to really get comfortable, especially driving it for performance reasons.
Well, the good thing about autocross is usually second, third gear, so you're not going to be like shifting all the time. You just leave it in second.
We've been driving manuals. For him, his biggest issue would be like, am I in third or second right now?
True.
Where is second? Where is third? Like,
especially switching between cars.
You and me have that muscle memory. We know exactly where our hand is, and exactly
the car feels laggy. And then you know what gear you're in.
So I mean, like for him just to hop in your Evo, you might need to bring an extra clutch.
No, you're gonna need to call insurance. Like, get Haggerty. I'm putting that fucking thing in the wall.
Maybe an extra engine too.
Okay. Maybe we'll start with the FRS. How about that?
Yeah, we'll start with the FRS. Yeah, the one. Yeah, I guess before we wrap this up, what's next for you? Are you doing any fun upgrades, or what's exciting in your life, car-wise?
Car-wise, I don't know. I think the biggest step is turning down the power on the Evo this year.
Okay.
So going from 500 horse to 330.
Whoa.
That's a big
step down.
Yeah. So trying to see if we can make the car a lot better for autocross, because you don't really need a lot of power for autocross.
No, not at all.
True.
I need a car that reacts.
Yeah, it's a lot of short technical turns.
Yes, so that's next for the Evo. The FRS, that car hopefully is gonna get a K swap this winter. So I'm gonna put a K24 into the FRS and a cage, a full cage. So hopefully within next year or so I can start doing wheel to wheel in that car. That's the biggest step that I'm trying to figure out how to do that. That's why I'm trying to learn how to drive faster in that car.
What does wheel mean?
Wheel to wheel, like I'm gonna race with guys next to me.
Yeah,
at all
wheel to wheel.
times.
Oh, gotcha.
So, like,
okay.
I'm not gonna be alone on the track trying to set a fast lap. It's gonna be me
Gotcha.
with
Like
other
position
people.
racing.
Position racing.
Okay.
Kind of like go-karting, but with
With
a
real
car.
cars. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the next step for me. Hopefully, just really expensive, man.
It
Cars are
is.
so expensive. It's a really expensive hobby to get into. But
Yeah, I wonder where that like ranks on chart for expensive hobbies, because I'm pretty sure polo is like the #1 most expensive sport in the world.
That's the one with the horse and the hammer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't know where cars come in, but that can also get super spendy with
Yeah.
like, Indy cars, just like I just saw a video about like the tools that you need to run an IndyCar like pit team.
oh, the Donut Media video.
Yeah. You watch that too? So you frequent Donut Media.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I watch them
yeah.
all the time.
So yeah, it's like over $100,000 just in tools, not including the car,
Wow.
which could itself very well cost $1 million.
I mean,
but
the impact gun is $10,000,
yeah.
and they need 4 or 6 or something like that.
Yeah, they need like 4 plus probably a backup, like,
Yeah.
and then the jack that they use to jack up the car. It's crazy how expensive motor racing is.
You remember when that the impact gun got ran over in that one race this year?
Oh yeah.
Who was that? Was that Ferrari?
I think it was Ferrari that ran it over for maybe Red Bull. I
It
think.
might have been. I don't know. Somebody left an impact gun out or whatever and got ran over.
Ooh.
And then it was jammed. Oh my god,
That guy
hilarious.
was probably crying.
Oh, dude.
Christ in dollar signs.
Yeah, no, that's expensive. No, and then there's a reason Formula One's the most expensive sport in the world too. Like
Mhm.
that's what's known
I mean, a
as.
front wing on a F1 car is like 150,000 euros.
That's insane, right? Like think
Just the front wing.
yeah.
How often do they go through that?
Oh,
Every
Yeah,
year?
those things break like every race.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And they need one for every track because it's different.
And they need 2 because they usually have 2 cars and
Yeah.
and and then they got to
I mean,
prepare
just think it for an amateur aspect, right? Like you want to go to track day, it's $300 to $500 to just be on the track,
Right.
and then you gotta bring tires, fuel. You either gotta drive your car or tow it, and then you need tools just in case something happens.
Yeah, it's expensive for amateurs.
yeah.
So imagine at that level.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's make a prediction here, actually. Let's finish with this. Who do you think is going to win the championship this year, and who do you think the top, let's say, 5 teams are going into this based off reveals?
Mercedes is gonna take it. I
Okay,
think.
the whole thing.
The whole thing is they're gonna be either constructor champions or George Russell's gonna take the championship.
Okay.
I think so, because he's been Mr. Consistent.
He's consistent. The consistency
Big time.
wins.
Yeah. So that guy, second place is gonna be Ferrari.
Really?
I don't think Red Bull is gonna do much after their $30 million cut that they overspent last year.
And their wind tunnel stuff. Well, they also developed a pretty good car last year, but these other guys.
They did.
So the question is can they catch up?
Kind of like
Especially with those
Mercedes did.
penalties. Yeah.
Like Mercedes did. They were a midfield team last year, the Mercedes guys, and they ended up being top.
That's right. Yeah, they were dog shit and they finished third.
Yeah, they were really bad at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and they almost finished second. I mean, granted, Red Bull was so far ahead, so I think we're going to have a much closer race. Okay, so we got Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull.
I don't think Red Bull's going to be in the top 3 this year, man.
You don't think so? So
I don't think so.
who do you think is going to be 4th and 5th?
I think it's going to be McLaren.
I like Alpine. I think they're going to bring some heat, but I feel like those drivers are going to be fighting each other because they're both French. They both already dislike each other a little bit. They've always had a rivalry since go-karting.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens there. And Ocon, he's had trouble with teammates. I mean, he's pissed off people, even though he's a decent driver. Don't get me wrong.
He's a really decent driver.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think Alpine and McLaren will probably be fighting it. Haas is probably going to be in the bottom. Williams is going to be in the bottom, but at least we'll see some more competitiveness. I think Haas is going to be dead last. I think them getting Nico was a silly move.
I think that guy's cursed, man. He's never stepped on a podium ever.
Yeah, poor guy.
Yeah.
So we got him and Williams at the bottom. Maybe Aston.
I think Williams is going to do really well this year.
You think so? I think
he's going to be in the top 6 for sure.
I could see that. And then so Aston will probably be towards the bottom. So they'll probably finish ahead of Aston, Williams. Well, who do they have for drivers? So they have Logan, right?
Yep.
The American. And then what's it called?
Albon.
Albon, that's what it was. Yeah. So I mean, poor kid. I mean, he's a good driver, man. His little stint at Red Bull.
He showed potential.
He showed potential, but I just don't think he was fast enough for them or whatever.
I think the move that they did with Sergio was a lot better.
I think so. I think he's a great. Yeah, he's a great driver. So then, who are we missing?
Alonso and Stroll, teammates.
Oh my God, that's gonna be a fiery season, dude. If you ever want to come over, we do every once in a while we do a viewing party at my pop's dealership. So we have, at the dealership he has like all these TVs, like 9 TVs or whatever, connected, and we watch there. We have a coffee machine and everything. So.
I mean, let me know. I don't miss a single race. I wake up at like 6 a.m. to watch races sometimes.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way, dude. Yeah, so. All right, so we got your predictions in. I think we're mostly on the same page here. So,
okay.
And Sean.
When is racing? Is it on Sundays?
Yeah. Yep. So, and then also it starts in what, 3 weeks? 4 weeks?
3 weeks.
Your dad's dealership is open on Sundays?
No. We just go over there to watch.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I'll tell you more about it off air, but yeah. So we'll get you over there just because like you and I hang out all the time. So we usually get like 6 or 7 people over there. Nothing crazy, but yeah. So he's getting a little bit more into F1 slowly.
Oh,
No, this will be my first. Well, I guess I kind of got into it last
really,
year.
like, follow it,
but I never got to watch a race. I mean, besides like some of the ones that were later in the evening, but other than that, I'd like to join you because it seems like getting invited to these things is a great way to get started.
It's so fun. And Drive to Survive drops this Friday.
I'm rewatching every single
I should rewatch
episode.
it. Yeah.
I don't know. I've been into F1 since my grandpa was like, I was like 6 years old. And my grandpa was like, wake up, it's F1 time. And I was like, okay. So
that's awesome.
I just been following F1 since then. So it's so cool.
Is there a track that you dream of racing?
I was actually invited to go to COTA.
Wow.
This year for Super Lab Battle, but the ticket was like $800 just to go.
Yeah, and
plus
you have
a 20-hour drive.
Oh,
so I was like, no, I just can't do it. Just can't, and not bringing my Evo for something that I'm not even gonna be competitive in. I was like, no, I'll just skip this year, maybe next year. But then I was actually invited to crew down there with some of the ASM guys, but I don't know, work's so busy now. It's like, it's hard to, once you manage a business, it's so hard to be like, you know what, I'm just gonna stop for 5 days to just go to a racing event that I'm not even racing at.
Right.
So COTA.
That's
COTA.
That's a hell of a track. That turn 1, was it going uphill?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, dude, that's a amazing shot too.
I kind of want to go just watch F1.
Yeah, we're trying to go to Montreal. That's
Montreal,
what we're looking at doing because we went to Miami last year.
Oh yeah, you did go to Miami last year.
That was really cool. We saw the Sebastian and Mick crash on turn 1. I wish I got a photo of that or a video, but yeah, that was pretty wild to see in person. Have you been to an F1 race before?
No,
dude.
Never.
The energy, it's pretty wild. And I think they were figuring out some issues or whatever at the track, just logistically. But I'd love to go to Montreal or COTA. Mexico is probably somewhere on the list, but so it's awesome, dude. The merch is expensive. I wish Ferrari would, because I'm a Ferrari fan, right? I wish they would fucking use better materials for their merch, because Eric got a McLaren hoodie and I'm like, dude, this hoodie's way better than this garbage Ferrari one, and he paid less, and I'm like, ugh.
Well, Ferrari's always gonna upcharge their stuff because it's
I don't
Ferrari.
mind the upcharge, just have decent fucking quality. If I'm paying, I think it was like $150 for a hoodie or something, like, or like $120, and then I think the shirt was like $80, and it's like,
Was it like polyester?
Well, I don't even know what it was, but like the way that it was stitched, like it just was like rubbing on my chest, you know, like it just.
I kind of want to get the Mercedes one, the Tommy Hilfiger shirts.
Yeah.
Because
my mom's a Mercedes fan.
Your mom?
Yeah, she's a Mercedes fan.
There you go.
Even though my dad's got the AMG GTR, he's a Red Bull fan. He just he likes Verstappen, and he just likes the cockiness of the like, you know. But he also likes other drivers. Like he loves rooting for the underdog too, you know. So that's kind of why, like, you know, we all love Mick. We're all cheering for Mick.
Oh yeah.
So
I just don't like Verstappen. He's such a greedy person, and he races like crap. Like, who moves under braking like that, going 200 miles an hour?
Yeah, he's arrogant, but we'll see what happens. We'll see when the cars level out. We'll see what he's really made of, you know. And you know, like he said in an interview or whatever, like he just kind of wanted that. He had the pressure of getting that first world champion. Now he can just kind of relax, and he did get better from year 1 to year 2. I think he was less of a dick on the track. So. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we could talk F1 for hours.
Oh, yeah, I can talk F1 all day long.
Yeah, we'll probably be chatting about it soon, but let's wrap this bad boy up. So thank you again for coming. Where can people find you or follow you?
Instagram, Facebook. Instagram at that1evo8 all together. But, yeah.
Is that words or numbered? That Evo 8?
That 1 Evo would be all letters, and 8 would be the number. That's
okay. Perfect. Yeah, and I'll share it as well on my Instagram at some point. So, if you ever need regular insurance work done to your car or some modifications, go to Pucci's Garage in Burnsville.
Thank you.
So, yeah, happy to plug you, man. You've taken care of some of my friends, so that's pretty sweet. And then, yeah.
And then you got me. I'm 1, the number, MN, Mopar.
Yeah, so if you want to follow the 1M or the Mopar stuff, you know, you're kind of shifting a lot more towards the German side of things now.
Yeah, I think that should be the natural progression for me. I started out with kind of like getting into straight line speed, and then figuring out like, hey, driving on a track is pretty fun, but you need a car that's a lot more technical and can handle that kind of stuff. And BMWs are great, you know, they're one of the greatest driving machines out there. So
you have a nice varying taste. I think that suits you. So 1MN Mopar for you, and then you all know yours truly because it's my fucking podcast. It's Minnoxide. So thanks again, guys. Hopefully the video actually works this time. If not, you know, we'll see. But thank you for coming on, and
thank you for having me.
Yeah, have a great day.